So for the first time in CrossFit Games history, we are at a pool, and we are also combining swimming with another movement. 10 rounds of a 25-yard swim, 3-bar muscle-ups, and then another 25-yard swim, a 25-minute time cap. And every time you do a bar muscle-up, you have to jump off the bar.
That's right. It's going to break that up. You can't have a real good consistency with that.
The third and final heat is underway. The time to beat belongs to Wes Pyatt. It's 11 minutes, 13.4 seconds. And these are the top athletes for the men at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. And in lane number 9, Matt Chan out of the water. Lane 16, Jordan Troyan as well. And Troyan going to the towel. Chan right to the bar.
You know what Jordan did right there, he actually looked to see if everyone else was going to wipe their hands, and they put the towel down real quick. So I think he's going to change up his strategy here. He knows it's a relatively long event. He's got to get through a lot of rounds, but that's definitely going to change. And that dive was the trademark of a swimmer. So you'll know a swimmer by the way they dive in the water.
He chewed up about half the pool before he came out of the water. And Troyan now in the lead. Matt Chan in second place. And then in lane 2, Kenneth Leverage also on the lead pace. So Leverage and Chan for second, and now Troyan is in first, but now it looks like Leverage may be pulling ahead of Chan. So it's a three-way battle for first between Troyan in lane 16, Chan in lane 9, and Leverage in lane 2.
You know, Kenny Leverage, he's a waterman. He spends a lot of time in the water surfing and things like that. He's a California kid. He's going to be in the water. The bar muscle-ups are not going to be a problem. So what this entire event's going to come down to is how are these guys going to swim? Are they going to go out too hard? Can their body stay streamlined the whole time? And I'll tell you what, the one person you know that will happen with is going to be George Troyan over in lane 16. But Kenny looks great right now. And all of them, if they've had any kind of swimming training, there's a little dolphin kick when they dive in the water as well.
So Leverage was first into the water. Troyan right behind him, but Troyan did that dolphin kick. He was under the water for half the pool, and now he is first to make the turn ahead of Leverage. So it's Troyan in first, Leverage in second, and Matt Chan now battling Leverage for second place, and it looks like Chan now is pushing Troyan for first place.
You know, look at the distance that these three swimmer guys have pulled from the rest of the group. They are already half pool length away from everybody else. So you can tell who the swimmer people are and who the non-swimmer people are.
So Troyan is out, Chan is out, and now Leverage is out as they are all on round 3. The time to beat 11 minutes, 13.4 seconds belonging to Wes Pyatt. This is the third and final heat of our first of 12 scored events here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games. And Kenneth Leverage with 1 rep to go. Meanwhile, Troyan back into the water. And Matt Chan as well. So it's Troyan in the lead in lane 16. Chan right behind him, and Kenneth Leverage currently sits in third place. But now Leverage is getting some pressure from lanes 3, 4, and 5 from Chad McKay, Ben Smith, and Josh Bridges.
It's a wonder, you know, did Kenny come out a little too fast? He may have. It's hard. It's that first event. You get those jitters. You want to get going. You can see the distance that Jordan and Matt have pulled on the rest of the group right now. Both those guys, their form is just impeccable in the water. I'm wanting to see if Jordan's going to start to have any sort of an issue with his bar muscle-ups. Matt isn't having any problem.
So Chan and Troyan on the bar at the same time. So Chan can probably get through these a little faster. Troyan's losing a little ground on the bar, but when he gets in the water, that's when he's doing a ton of damage. Chan's on your left, Troyan is on your right. That's number 3 for Chan. So he's actually going to beat Troyan back to the water, but Troyan right behind him by a split second. They probably got into the water at the same time. Troyan with a running leap, and now making up that ground that he lost to Chan. He's back in front.
Now, Matt knew the history of Jordan Troyan. So what he has to do right now is think, okay, where am I going to make up my time? Where can I lose it? He knows he's going to be decent in the water, but he has to make sure he's staying solid. Wow, he just changed up to a backstroke, and I was not expecting that. What that's showing to me is that he's actually starting to like breathe a little harder. He wants to take in a little bit more air. Jordan's not going to have that issue. That may be a problem for Matt.
Chan quickly back to the freestyle. Now Troyan out of the pool, Chan out of the pool. Kenneth Leverage has fallen off the lead pace, but he still sits in third. He's trying to hold off McKay, Smith, and Josh Bridges. So Chan and Troyan back for their bar muscle-ups. Troyan on the left and Chan on the right.
Now you see Matt starting to break down. He's starting to have to throw one arm over. I think that's what's happened is he's actually starting to push a little bit too hard in the pull. He's starting to break down, not getting enough oxygen, and so he's starting to fail on the muscle up. He hasn't totally broke, but it's starting to look bad now, and that's what we're only halfway through this event.
So Troyan still in the lead. He's about a body length ahead of Matt Chan, who sits in lane 9. Troyan in lane 16 at the top of your screen. We approach the 5-minute mark. The time to beat 11:13.4 seconds. We're live from the Willett Aquatic Center in Irvine, California. I'm Sean Woodland alongside Bill Grundler. The battle for third now is being won by Kenneth Leverage in lane 2. Leverage was with Chan and Troyan at the outset of this event, but now he's fallen back, and he and Ben Smith battling for third, and it looks like Smith may have overtaken Leverage. Chad McKay in lane 3, the big Australian. He is also challenging for one of the top 3 spots. And now Ben Smith occupies third place behind Matt Chan and Jordan Troyan.
You know, again, it's just he's more consistent and smooth in the water. He's a lot more efficient. His body's staying tight. His feet aren't coming out all crazy on his kick. He's gliding on his stroke, so he's conserving that energy.
So Jordan Troyan still in the lead. The battle for third taking place on the pull-up bar. In lane 2, it's Kenneth Leverage. Next to him in lane 3 is Chad McKay. And then in lane 4, just coming off the bar and making his way back to the water, is Ben Smith, who sits in third. Now, let's not forget, the winner of every event here at the 2013 Reebok CrossFit Games gets $3,000. So there's a lot more than points on the line here.
Yeah, $3,000 isn't too shabby, you know. Being that it's becoming a professional deal here, and these athletes are becoming professional athletes, that's always nice to have. But you know what? They want this first event in the bag. They want to start off and start off their entire weekend with a nice win.
Jordan Troyan out of the water first ahead of Matt Chan, and he is on to the bar first. Took a second to dry off his hands. Chan does not. He is right on the bar. Chan on the right, throwing that one arm over. Not as smooth as Troyan on the left, as we are now through 6.5 minutes here in the third and final heat.
Now, what I will say is this. Matt is a bigger athlete, so even though he's battling through these, and he's starting to break now.
He got no rep on the one before that.
You know, and that's what you don't want to have happen. You need to have a good kip. Maybe what he needs to start doing now is actually start drying off his hands, get some chalk on his hands so we can lock onto that bar.
So Jordan Troyan already to the other end of the pool and leaving Matt Chan in his wake. Chan failing another bar muscle up, and he is falling back as Ben Smith has now taken over second place.
He needs to slow down. He needs to get some chalk on those hands. He's got to lock his hands on that bar. He's using too much energy. You can see that his bottom arm is dropping every single time. That's just not what he wants to have happen right now.
So Matt Chan now trying to catch up with Ben Smith as Smith has taken over second place. Meanwhile, Jordan Troyan is already back on the pull-up bar for round 8.
Right there, Ben Smith, I want you to look at his stroke. Look at his kick. He doesn't have a real strong kick. Right there is Jordan Troyan. When we get to his stroke, it'll be impeccable. I can promise that one. Jordan not having any sort of an issue with the muscle up, and he was even talking to the refs during the time. You know, so he's not. This is well in his wheelhouse. Now he wants to do really well. I mean, look at his stroke.
And
Perfect
Troyan
line.
Stayed underwater. We talked about this before the event, that guys who know what they're doing in swimming, when they dive through, they'll use that dolphin kick and stay underwater for almost more than half the pool, and we saw that right there with him.
That glide, when that streamlined pencil glide, that saves energy. You don't want to push against the water, and the swimmers understand that, the non-swimmers don't.
And even in the late rounds, he's still doing this. You would expect when he's already been through 8 rounds of this that his breath might be suffering, but he's still able to take that break and not breathe.
A 500-meter swim for a swimmer is barely the warm-up. So these guys, he's not losing his breath right now.
So Troyan back on the bar. This is round 9. The time to beat is 11:13.4, and unless Jordan Troyan suffers an epic blowout here, he is going to win this event going away.
He's absolutely, I mean, it's a complete annihilation of this. If you were going to put someone in this particular event, he's the guy to see what kind of real good score you're going to get.
Ben Smith currently sits in second place. Matt Chan is in third as Chan struggled on his 8th round of bar muscle-ups and fell well behind Troyan, and then surrendered even more ground to Ben Smith, who was able to take over second place as Jordan Troyan makes the turn and is back for his 10th and final round of bar muscle-ups. And Jordan Troyan looks like he's going to get himself 100 points.
absolutely crushing it right now. I mean, again, he's swimming it perfect. He even is coming to the wall, relaxing, rolling to his back, taking a little breath. Let me have a little conversation with you as, you know, before I finish this.
Well, Troyan has actually talked to somebody in the crowd to sort of let him know where he stands, so it's a good strategy. You have someone who can watch the rest of the field, so he doesn't need to worry about that. He's back on the bar now. Troyan with a couple more to go, and he will close out this event and pocket $3,000.
Wow, he just is absolutely handling this whole event.
Troyan back in the water.
Halfway across the pool before he even breathes.
Not going to get inside 10 minutes, but Jordan Troyan is going to open up his very first CrossFit Games with a victory. He's out of the water. He'll come across his touchpad, and Jordan Troyan with the time. As we wait for the final results,
Ben Smith right now coming in. He looks solid. He looks so good right now. Look at that. Look at that. It's so smooth. He's getting up. He's going to hop out of the pool, finish across the line. Wow, Ben Smith.
Ben Smith, a second place finish. So Jordan Troyan is your winner. $3,000 and 100 points. Matt Chan, who was in second place for a good portion of this event, just finishing up his 10th round, and Chan is trying to lock up a third place finish. So Jordan Troyan at final time of 10:06. Ben Smith next to him, 10:28. Now the race for third in lane 5. That's Josh Bridges. Bridges out of the pool. Chan out of the pool. Who gets to the touchpad first? It's going to be Bridges in third, and Chan will finish in fourth place.
Wow. Again, you know, we thought for sure Josh would be in there. He needed that, but wow, that was a great comeback on his part.
So now Josh Bridges doing himself a lot of favors here in this opening event. Chad McKay, the big Australian, is in. In lane 2, Kenneth Leverich is in. Zach Forrest in lane 1 still out there. Scott Panchik on his final round in his last swim. Graham Holmberg. Rich Froning is only on round 9. So this is exactly what Josh Bridges needed. Get a nice big cushion heading into some other events over the
good.
two-time defending champion.
Well, again, guys like
terrible.
Matt Chan, who was such a
Enough.
second last year, he wants #1 spot. So
I
this
felt
is
it
gonna be into well.
every time about right there when I pushed off the wall. I was like, oh no.
Panchik, one of those men from the highly contested Central East region. Now Rich Froning making his way back down for
Wow.
his 10th and final round.
That checks out. I think the same marks were on everybody when you did it back then.
Right from the tape.
Always
Yeah.
kind of hang in that top 5. Wow, Jason Khalipa, good
Jason
right there.
Khalipa is in. So Jason Khalipa glad that this event is over. Khalipa with a time of 12 minutes, 12.1 seconds. So a solid time for Jason Khalipa.
You know, right there, not a typical place we see Rich Froning, the last one out of the water. However, look at his kick. That is not an efficient kick. When he's kicking that hard like that, it's wasting a lot of energy. The better swimmers will have what's called a 2B kick, especially for something like this. They barely are kicking. It's just enough to keep their butt up. Everything else is all in their arms and their back.
Well, make note of this moment, everyone, because this is one of the rare times that you will see Rich Froning look somewhat mortal. Dan Bailey is in. Now Rob Forte, and now Rich Froning for his final set of 3 bar muscle-ups. Now it's Graham Holmberg making his way back down the pool. He has closed out his final set of bar muscle-ups. And Rich Froning, once again, take note of this, breathing heavily.
Last in his heat. Rich Froning last in his heat. We don't ever say that, ever. And it's an amazing. So what's going to be interesting now with over the course of the rest of the weekend is how is he able to mentally handle that? He's never been in this position. He's never had a score like this. So how is he going to be able to handle it? That's what's going to be interesting.
Yeah, messing with his goggles, and Rich Froning coming back in lane number 8. So remember, this is just the first of 12 scored events, and Froning can make up plenty of ground as we continue through the Reebok 2013 CrossFit Games.
Did you beat your old score?
Yeah. I think I could have done that walking in the pool. That's fun though.